Good afternoon. My name is Julius McDonald. This is going to be my presentation on the first time that someone tried to kill me. Now, I'm willing to bet you, just from me saying that statement right off the bat, you're thinking, well, how many times has anybody tried to kill you? And is this going to be one of those grim type videos? And in actuality, it is not. It says that the first time that someone tries to kill me, but in actuality, this is a story about friendship. A friendship that can get bonded, but in some of the most worst environments. And this particular environment is one of those environments. So there's this time. I am an active duty Marine at this particular time that this event is happening. We decided to deploy and we went to the country of Iraq. I arrived in Iraq for my very first time, scared to death. I have no idea what to expect. It's about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's so much sand and so much activity, I just don't know what to expect. I show up in the country, get to my unit, and the very first thing that happens with any type of environment like this is they give a safety brief. Safety brief goes on and it says, look, if you hear this alarm, run to the bunker. Make sure you have this on, make sure you have that on, make sure you let someone know where you are. They have bunkers set aside just for this group. So I have a group, we're in our barracks, and if that alarm goes off, our group in our barracks is supposed to run to that bunker. Well, it's easier said than done. So if I'm there, I don't know anybody there. I'm confused, I'm scared, and there's this guy right next to me. His name is Ray. I had just met him right before we deployed. So I don't know a lot about the guy, but it turns out that this particular situation is going to forge a friendship between me and him. It's going to last forever. Even to this day, he's one of my very best friends. But come to the climax of the story. We are in the bunker, and it is required that we have on these jackets. These jackets are bulletproof vests, and we have this helmet on that we're supposed to wear everywhere that we go when we're in this country, especially if that bomb alarm goes off. And it just so happens that when that bomb alarm went off for the very first time, that meant someone was firing missiles into our camp. And it probably meant it was somewhere in the vicinity of where we lived. So you got to imagine this story in the context that there is a bunch of dudes all in a confined space in underwear, in a sleeping bag, sleep. And then this alarm goes off. You've never heard it before, but you're scared to death. So you immediately do what you're trained to do, what they told you to do in this safety brief. Grab your helmet, grab the vest, go to the bunker. As simple as that. But that's more complex when you're talking about grown men in underwear, putting on a vest, putting on a helmet, because at that time you're not thinking about pants or shoes or shirt or anything else. All you're looking at is vest, helmet, weapon, run to the bunker. So now alarm goes off, we panic. Me and my friend Ray here do about the same thing as any old country boy that ain't never been to a competition, to a situation like this, is we grab our jacket, we grab our helmet, and we run. So we show up at this bunker in underwear, boxers, boxers, jacket, helmet, and rifle, and we cuddled up into a corner, scared to death. Two grown, like 30-year-old men, 200 plus pounds, whimpering, crying, and then the bomb land. Boom! Shook the entire bunker, and from that time that bomb hits, me and him immediately just clung together. Two adult men in a jacket, in a helmet, and a rifle hugging each other, scared and crying. It sounds hilarious, but it was extremely dangerous. They were shooting at us all the time. But that was the very first time that someone had actually shot at me since I had been there, and him. You know, so it's almost like we're looking at each other when this is over and we're saying, we're not going to tell anybody about this. This will never get told. But this story obviously had to get told because this is how it forged the relationship that made between me and him. Two big grown men in underwear hugging each other in the dark, half asleep, holding a rifle, wearing a helmet, and wearing a jacket that's bulletproof vest. It almost sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. But in actuality, that is how it happened. Eventually, the alarm went off, And then we gathered our stuff and we went back to our tents and we put our clothes back on. But from that point, every time we see each other, that is the very first vision that we get in our minds. It's difficult for anyone who's never been in that environment to grasp that situation of two people huddled up in a bunker with nothing but underwear on. But in the middle of the night, when someone starts shooting at you and an alarm starts going off, pants is the last thing on your mind. And actually your dignity is the last thing on your mind. All you're trying to do is gather what is necessary to gather, get to somewhere where it's safe. That bunker saved me and his life more times than I can count. Where bombs landed almost within a few feet of that bunker. But we was right up in there. But from that point on, we did manage to grab our pants. Now, from that point on, we actually would put pants on and get into bed before we went to sleep. So that way, in case we had to get up and run in the middle of the night, we don't find ourselves two grown people in underwear hugging each other. We did stop the hugging, though. But we still ran to that bunker. We still had all our equipment. And we still ended up being the absolute best friends that we have ever had with each other. We have followed each other all over the world since then. Our wives know each other's wives. Our kids know each other's kids. They're friends. We're friends. And it'll be that way until God calls us home. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. You have an awesome day.